A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel, the Twinflame Union. In this channeling session, I would be talking about the emotion or the feeling or the urge that is required to cope up in daily routine during separation, after surrender, like you have already started surrendering, and taking on to life's responsibilities with a happy face, with a happy heart, living your life in the present moment and not thinking about separation. This is the energy of this particular session, because the masculine and the feminine are feeling like this, and masculine also has to feel this way and the feminine too, because both of them have to become so responsible and so genuine in that feelings that when they come back to each other, they have actually checked and analyzed everything from different perceptions and from different angles. This session is for both divine masculine and divine feminine, as in this situation is for both of them. And there is another channeling also, but that is more towards the divine masculine, because it's about ego and how he finds that ego is very painful. Actually, all the pain that is caused in his life is because of the ego only. If the ego wasn't there or the ego problems weren't there, then he would be a very happy man. But I'll explain that channeling in the next session. Before I go any further, I would like to tell you that for personal readings, for guidance on dream interpretation, counseling and therapy sessions, please go through the description box first. And once you're sure, then please write to me at thesunamoon@gmail.com. An important thing is, if you plan to go for twin flame intuitive reading, then kindly do not tell me anything about your journey. Because if you'll tell me anything about your journey, I won't be able to give you correct reading. If I know so much about your journey, obviously it will have some impact on the reading, right? So don't do that. All this information is required during therapies, because in therapy sessions we have to go really deep. We have to find out where the trauma bonds are. We have to find out where those limiting beliefs are coming from. Where are those blocks coming from? Only when we release those blocks and only when we work on those issues, those areas, and we practice, like some of the sessions, some of the courses, one of the course which is the chakra therapy, the 7 chakra therapy, it goes on for at least 1.5, 2 months, in some cases even 2.5 months or 3 months, depending on how we are doing the sessions and what is the pace of the person who is doing therapy. So we are constantly in touch for at least minimum a month and a half. So there is a lot that is exchanged and there's a lot that is shared. And this is the time when we need all of this information. And most of the times it happens that once people take a reading, then they decide to take the therapy. So imagine I have all the data from the reading, and then we find out other data from the therapy sessions and the assignments we have to do. So now coming back to the energy, this is a very important energy to master and to learn, especially for the divine feminines, because it is the divine feminines, when they turn away or when they stop focusing on the masculine or focusing on the limiting beliefs, then naturally the runner wants to come back, because the primary reason why there is a separation, that reason is removed. Okay? But it needs practice. So in the therapy, I can still check on to people if they're doing practice or not, or if they feel, there is something which is not letting them do the practice, it comes out. But if you're doing inner work on your own, then try to understand it like this, that if you're not going to feel good about yourself and about your DM, about your relationship in general, if you don't know how to feel good, or if you don't know how to avoid these type of feelings that make you feel incomplete, unworthy, how to release them, then you won't be able to cope up in regular life, everyday life, daily routine, daily chores. Your day should be like, you should start your day and in the night you should feel, oh, it already ended. And you should be able to sleep on your own. You should be drowsy in the right time, because these are the things that define health. Your sleeping pattern also defines health for you. Now, constant focused attention practice has to be done. So in this case, the Divine Feminine, whosoever was the Divine Feminine in this case, she practiced really well, very deeply, every single day. Okay? Till the time it did not become a part of her. It did not become a part of her that she has to live in the present moment every single day. Every single day and every hour and every minute, things like that, So much awareness is there. Or even if that much awareness is not there, even if you do 70% of it, what's going to happen is that you'll start feeling very good. And all the things that, the Divine Masculine did this, did that, he's such a bad person, he doesn't love me, he doesn't care for me, he betrayed me, or he broke my trust. All those negative feelings will go away. Most of the negative feelings that you have in love relationship is not coming from your DM or any other relationship. It's actually coming from your own programming, from your own childhood programming, how you were treated or how you were raised. All of those things have a huge impact on what type of beliefs do you have. What type of beliefs do you form in your life, throughout your life. And this is something that the Divine Feminine only learns. Like yesterday only I had an argument with someone over the pandemic. And this guy was like telling me that, this is not possible, you got to take the medicines, you got to do this, you got to do that, only then you can heal. And I was saying that everything is psychological in nature, everything. And he was like, how is this possible? How is this possible? There's nothing like that, How can everything be psychological? A lot of people don't understand that your thoughts create your reality. The way you think every single day, that creates your reality. And I'm not one of those people who tell you to manifest things or focus on what you want to manifest all the time. Because if you're all constantly focusing on those things, then again you're not living in the present moment. So law of attraction has to be understood really well. Law of attraction does not mean that you constantly, keep practicing affirmations, you keep writing things down, you keep saying. That doesn't work. Because the moment when you actually feel that this relationship is doomed, or this person is horrible, or how could he do this to me, or this and that, or, he, she, whichever applies in your case. This means that when you're actually feeling bad about this relationship, that's the time your affirmations are not working, because you did the affirmations like in the morning, you're just chanting. Even when you chant, you need to make sure that those negative feelings are not focused upon. So your daily life, so basically the Divine Feminine here, she learned to live her life, her daily life, in a very smooth way. Though it is unfortunate that a lot of people do not really understand this fact that everything is psychological in nature, and what you have within you is what you see your world to be. Like the day you stop worrying about money, the day you stop thinking about how am I going to get this, how am I going to pay the rent, how am I going to buy a new car, how am I going to get this, that is the time when you stop thinking, it actually starts working out for you. That's the reason why I tell people, work on your root chakra, work on your finances. I don't tell people because I want them to become materialistic and money-minded and hungry. I want them to actually be financially free so that they don't have to depend on other people for even small things and small desires. Like getting something which is probably just $10 or $12 and you can't even get that. And you have to depend on others for your rent, for your food, for your shelter. That is a really sad place to be in. And imagine if you cannot handle your own finances. How will you handle your own relationship? The reason why the runner-chaser dynamic happens in your life is because during the runner-chaser dynamic, there are times when the feminine is in her place of power, and that's why the runner stops running and comes back. So she has to see this via practical experience, that each time I work on myself, each time I do inner work, each time I feel better, he comes back to me. Which means that my feeling better or my feeling happy and relaxed is connected to the other people's love towards me. What happens is, when they come back, the divine feminines, they stop doing inner work and they think, oh, now he's back, now I'm in union, or it's a mini reunion or whatever, it's fine. And then after a few days, the same drama starts happening again, the same bad feelings, and then again, she's in separation for some time, for a few months, and it feels like such a horrible thing, like to be in such a bad place to be in. So that bad place, that negative place, that sad place is what she's managed to remove. As we always say, that pain is inevitable, but suffering is not. Suffering is a choice. You don't have to always suffer. If there is pain, if you keep saying there's pain, there's pain, there's pain, and you keep focusing on the pain will not go away. It will only increase. And in the pandemic also, this is exactly what we are seeing. People are psychologically so scared that even if they don't have symptoms, they want to know if they have symptoms or not. And if they have less symptoms because they stress too much, the symptoms automatically increase. And imagine India is a country where all of this spiritual knowledge is present. It's a treasure of spirituality. There's no other country, like India and Nepal are two countries that are full of masters. True, genuine masters have taken birth in this land. This has not happened in any other part of the world. You can always gain knowledge from the masters no matter where you are born. But why am I talking about this is because sadly a lot of people here don't believe it. And also I'll tell you, the divine feminines have also struggled very hard with this concept that she is the one who's creating her life. Even the abuse, even the trauma, even the pain, even the bad relationships, the betrayals, constantly being made to feel unworthy. The outside sources are just the mirror. The outside sources or the outside actions are just like reactions of your own actions. But then you would think that I did not do any such actions, I did not do any such bad thing, then why? Why is it happening to me? That's because the concept of good and bad is not clear to most people. The concept of good and bad. We are so stuck in good and bad, we constantly want to do good. And we unknowingly or unintentionally start doing good for people who are really evil without even realizing it. We start pleasing them. We start taking care of them. We start hanging out with them. This is the reason why all people who are looking for home, all people who are trying to find their way back home, they need to understand the difference between genuine and fake. With genuine people, you should be good to them, you should be nice to them because they deserve it. They are worthy of it. They are the right people who you should be supporting. And the fake people, you should not be supporting them no matter who they are. Now, there's also one more thing, that divine masculines, they also feel very bad, sometimes for the divine feminine or with the divine feminine because they feel that she does not understand them. Actually, it's true in a way because initially she did not understand him. She did not see him as a person who could be her life partner or who could be the one. It's only later on when things start going haywire or when they feel that, they are being neglected or they're being ignored too much. There's a certain level of confidence that the divine feminine has during runner-chaser dynamic. Let me tell you that, very frankly. During the runner-chaser dynamic, she knows that he is going to come back to me no matter what. If not now, but he will bring his ass back to me after 4 months or 5 months or 3 months and he will learn a lesson or he will be miserable without me. I know that. They have that confidence. But during the long separation, they lose that thing. They get very scared. They get very freaked out because a very old hidden limiting belief or a block has found its way on the surface level. Especially because she has found out that he is the one for her. Till the time she is not 100% sure, this runner-chaser dynamic will keep happening. But the day she is like, yeah, he is the one for me and I want to be with him for the rest of my life, then all the problems will start happening. Because she has this belief system in her that she is not worthy of love. And that is a very big belief system, very strong belief system. Now, even if I tell you that, this is one of the belief system that is creating problem, you don't know how to work on it. You don't know what to do. Where is it coming from? So many places could be validating this belief. And so many situations that have gone wrong would validate this belief. And that's how this belief keeps growing up. And it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And all of these financial issues and a lot of other things, they also start becoming very evident right before the separation. Even during the runner-chaser dynamic, the financial condition of the feminines is not that great. And for the masculine also, though he might appear that his financial situation is good, much better than hers at least, he's driving fancy cars or he's going to nice hotels or he's eating out in expensive places and blah, blah, blah. But for him also, that's not his own money. He's not yet fully independent, and that's the reason why he is under the pressure of the decision makers of his life who are also taking care of his expenses. But obviously, he does not leave her because of money issues or something like that. However, there is this feeling in him that I need to be somewhere in life. Maybe he feels bad that he's not settled yet. Maybe he has some, exams to crack. Maybe he has some kind of a figure in his life or her life, man or woman, doesn't matter, who is telling him or her that, this is not good. This is not good enough. Or maybe they probably had some kind of a idea in their heads. They are very confident about it because they got that type of support. But when they actually stepped into the real world, in the matrix world, trying to figure it out, it became really difficult for them to achieve. So that also gives them a huge sort of a setback, emotional setback or a mental setback. They don't know where they're going, where they're heading, and everything gets mixed with this journey, with the love or with the relationship. Now, you have also seen that there are a lot of people who say that I don't give priority to love or relationships. I give maximum priority to my career. Now, there is again a problem in that, because some of the people, they are attached or, so passionate about the career moves or the career in general, is because it's connected to their ego. Now, it could be a man, it could be a woman, but whosoever is doing that definitely carries the masculine template. Because the ego is so important. So that career option they have, or anything around it that they're doing, is not something that's coming from a space of heart chakra. It's not coming from love. It's not something they enjoy. It's not something they love so much that it comes naturally to them. You don't have to make efforts. When something comes naturally to you, you can talk about it. You know about it. You know somehow how it feels and how it would be. But when something is coming from the ego space, or it is there to validate the ego's existence, or the ego's extreme amount of selfishness, then that is something that is a problem too. So most of the DMs, they actually think, because they have learned it from somewhere or someone has told them that you should always focus on your career, you should always be independent, you should always do this, you should always do that. And this applies beautifully for the divine feminine as well when she is in the separation zone, the long separation mode. She also understands this thing that, I need to be on my feet. I cannot be in the zone where I need a man to do things for me. If I want to buy something, if it's really important for me, if it's really a requirement of my life, I should be able to do it on my own. I don't need to use a crutch or some kind of a support, I can manage everything on my own. And I can manage everything on my own by being my natural true self. This is also a very big breakthrough in this journey, when she is able to do it on her own, and not only do it on her own, but also be able to inspire other people to be their natural selves, to be real, to be authentic. So both of them right now, in this channeling are in that zone where they're able to live their life without the fear of separation or without the difficulties in coping mechanism. They are not feeling bad anymore. Every day comes with a surprise or with a new experience, a new learning, and every day is seen with a lot of gratitude that, okay, today my inner work is going to be like this. The runner-chaser dynamic followed by a long separation is also to teach a lot of people that ascension or inner work is a lifestyle. Just because you're in union does not mean that you stop doing your inner work. You're going to continue to do your inner work. Just because, say for example, you had a dream and you fulfilled that dream of yours. It was a childhood dream and finally you got it done. Now that does not mean that you'll stop doing anything after that. There would be other projects, there would be other things that would come up after that. So you don't stop basically. That's how life is. Life never stops. And all of us are actually eternal beings. We are immortal beings. Only the body is mortal, and that is also a contradiction, right? When you say the soul is gonna live forever, but you say body is not, isn't that a contradiction? Because a lot of people think the soul and the body are the same. No, body and soul are not the same. Body is only used in this dimension. Because how are you going to experience the earth dimension, which needs 5 senses, and then the 6 senses needed to connect with the soul? So to connect with your experiences, you need a device. And that's what the body is doing. And once this work or this traveling that you're doing in this dimension, it's all of it is done. You have recorded what you needed to record it. You've observed whatever you needed to observe. Then you go back in your usual zone, your usual self. And that does not require you to be in a certain type of body to experience a certain dimension. And also, this is another reason why we want, or we tell people in the twin flame journey to uplift yourself to the 5th dimension, because the 5th dimension is a place where you're not worried about the bodily needs at all. You don't go like, oh, how am I going to eat? How am I going to drink? How am I going to sleep? How am I going to do this? Everything will happen on its own, very naturally. Even when you fall sick or even if you feel low, you'll find some way or the other to come back in your normal self again, very soon. You're not going to take it like, oh my God, I'm unwell, I'm sick, what's going to happen? You don't look at the worst possible scenarios. You always think that whatever is happening is fine. Because the difficulty or the duality of good and bad is gone in 5D. 5D is like more unified. You don't bifurcate your actions and your words or your speech or your dreams or your thoughts or your communication, anything. You don't bifurcate it in good and bad. You just see it like you acting as your natural self, you being your natural self. So once this feeling is achieved on a daily basis, it will have a huge impact on the twin flame journey. Especially because the divine feminine here is independent. And secondly, because the masculine can see, he can acknowledge and he can accept the love he has for her, which otherwise he was denying and running from. Now, I always tell people, don't take his running away personally. He did not run away because he doesn't love you. He ran away because he doesn't love himself fully yet. He doesn't know that. So he has to run away, because what else would you do when you're not able to, cope up in a situation? You'll either run away from it or you'll either fight. The DFs usually take the route of fight. So they have fought a lot with the DM, trying to convince him, argue, be like, no, you listen to me, you don't understand, you don't know this thing, I have researched about it. You are my twin flame. And he's like, so are you going to tell this to me at 5 in the morning? Yes, this is the time I want you to know you are my twin flame. What is the twin flame? I don't know what a twin flame is. You don't need to know what a twin flame is. You are a twin flame. That's most important. So what if we are twin flames? Oh, we have this natural, intense love. We have real love. We are supposed to be with each other forever and this and that. And she goes on and on and on, and you don't understand it. You must know about it. You must feel it. And he goes like, what's wrong with her? What is she trying to say? And this freaks him out, not because she's telling him something strange, but he has also been feeling this deep intensity. But he is not in the space of intuitiveness. He's not in touch with the spiritual side fully yet. He is in touch with the spiritual side. Both of them are. But both of them in certain departments are not there yet. So because of that mismatch of energy and mismatch of those departments, he doesn't believe her, he doesn't know what she's saying, and he feels that, she's saying this something very nice about me and about us, but who knows if this is true or not, or why is she saying this? She must be having some motive behind it, because he still hasn't loved anyone selflessly, unconditionally. During the separation phase, he feels that unconditional love for her. Imagine you've gone away with some other person, some very attractive person, but you don't find them attractive. You don't even want to get intimate with them. After some time, this intimacy seems to be like a drag, as if he's being forced to do it. And no one likes that, and then it confuses him that I have someone nice with me and I don't like them at all. And this is not about comparison, Now, the divine feminines also need to let go of insecurity, jealousy, comparisons, because they were compared a lot in childhood. And most of the times it was negative comparison. And even if they had certain good qualities due to the narcissistic upbringing, which was of the neglectful nature, they don't know yet. They don't know that being themselves, being the natural self, can make them lovable. So they continuously think that, the DM doesn't love me for who I am, but he loves someone else. So these are the things that they basically remove, they iron it out, they clear these things out, they don't take it personally, and they also have some kind of responsibility towards their own soul journey. They realize that they are here on planet Earth for some reason. They are not here to waste time. And some of the people, they naturally have this urge for doing good for the society, for the community, for other people. It's not even counted as good or bad. It's counted as giving back to the community. And what are you giving back to the community for? Because during the ascension journey, during especially surrender, you start feeling amazing about your life. Life is a beautiful journey after that. And this time, you're not worried about the horrible things that will happen on the way or the bad things that will happen on the way. In fact, you're like, no, it's actually good. Some of those bad things actually helped me a lot. They made me who I am today, the bad feelings. And the bad feelings were an illusion. Now, for all of you, whatever your unconditional love is would be different. And this is the reason why I tell people to get into mission work, because mission work is also unconditional love, because there you are literally not expecting anything other than the happiness or the upliftment of the people or the animals or children or trees or environment, whosoever you are serving, because you see your own self in them. You don't see them as separate entities. You see those children's faces, or you see those animals, or you see those plants just like an extension of your own soul. So there is no separation ever. You don't feel separation. And when you practice your mission work on a daily basis, when you are continuously giving all of your, 100% to your mission work, or if you don't find your mission work, I'll give you another interesting thing to do. If you don't find mission work, then try to find as to how authentic are you. And whenever you're being authentic, what is it that stops you? Even that can change a lot, because the more authentic you are, automatically you will become mission oriented. There's no doubt about that. So this is where I come to the closing of this session. So, whosoever the divine feminine or the masculine are, they are really doing well in terms of handling their daily chores and their daily affairs. And they have been very successful at releasing the feeling of separation. The feeling that we are not together, or we don't love each other, or there are so many problems, or there are not enough resources to be with each other, or there is distance issue, or there is this, or there's that. All of these things form limiting beliefs and blocks. Now, where they are coming from, that is also a scientific research. So I'd also like to tell you all that don't bother about time. No one is here to judge you, how long you're going to take. Let it be, because when you also think too much about time, time as a factor, age as a factor, that type of time, then also you are in a phase of separation. People who are in unity consciousness, who are in union, who already have a 5D union, they have an integration with the source. They don't care about how much time something will take, how will things happen. So unconditional love and mission work also helps you to release these things. Like, I learned so much from my animal friends. It's fascinating actually. The things they have done to me, like they've brought in my life, the joy, the love, the happiness. I've never experienced this in any human also. And these things are also natural. Like, how I know this is natural is because when I was just 1 year old, when I used to talk and walk pretty young. At say 9 months, I started walking and talking. And the first people or the first friends I made were some street dogs. And I used to sit with those street dogs. Imagine a 1 year old child, a 1 year old child, that small a child, is spending the whole day with 8, 10, 12 dogs every day. And many times, my mother found snakes with me. Now, I don't know what the snakes were doing with me, but definitely I was not scared of the snakes. I was playing. I used to play with them. I used to play with the dogs. I really loved animals. But because of the programming, because of the societal world, like, no one wants the child to be sitting with street dogs, especially, so many years back when I was just 1 year old or 1.5 year old. It wasn't seen like a great thing, especially if you're coming from a family that is not really fond of, pets or something like that. We had a lot of animals. My grandfather was a farmer, so naturally there were many buffaloes and cows and goats. But those were all commercial animals, The animals were a part of the business. So when you have hired animals or you've purchased animals to do your work or to do things, and in exchange you give them shelter, food, medicines, and you always also want to take care of them because you don't want to have unhealthy animals and then, have that effect all over you. I know a lot of people who really take good care of their cattle and their animals, but still that commercial value, that business, that barter system, that conditionality is always there. But when you genuinely love animals for no reason or rhyme, actually, it's not like they're going to do something for you in exchange and that's why you take care of them. Or even if they do something for you in exchange, like say you have a cow and you really love the cow, you've spent your childhood with the cow or whatever, you have a bond with the cow. So even if you take milk from the cow, not only, it's organic, not only you're not harming the calf and you're not killing the calves. There are people who kill the male calves because they feel that it's of no use for them. But in farming, that's why I prefer farming over other things. I feel that farming is one of the best things you can do. Because then you can also have your cattle, live a healthy life, a natural life. Still, I would say that there is a condition involved. So all the people who rescue animals, all the people who do all this great work, some of them I know personally, some of them I just read about or I see. Doesn't matter whether you know someone personally or not. But it makes me feel that this is sort of unconditional love. And then you see people who do things for their ego satisfaction or they do it for name, fame and publicity. So they are rescuing animals or they are doing some wonderful things, but they also attach some kind of social presence, look at me, I am so great, I do this. They don't do it because they want to share their happiness with others or their joy with others or inspire others, but they do it because it acts as a strong point for their identity. So these are the places which are not unconditional love, right? So they teach us all the natural things that come from us, within us since childhood. Those are the things that we were actually born with. Those are the gifts that we were born with. So you must go back to them, and then actually when we start going back to our natural gifts, we are also in the state of a union. At least a 5D union is there. And once you're in 5D union, you're going to be feeling good about your life. You're going to be feeling happy about what you do. You won't have any complaints. And even if you're in communication with your twin flame, it's not going to be like a difficult communication. You know, it's going to be like very nice, smooth, and without any sort of anger or frustration. You know, even if you feel that your twin flame is no longer the priority of your life. Because before, for the divine feminines, everything revolved around true love. So anybody who would come with the embodiment or a perfect, you know, amalgamation of true love as per the requirements, you know, of a good loving partner, they would be like, wow, this is my priority. This is the person. This is the one for me. They make that the one, they put it on the pedestal, and then that's where it starts going all wrong. But once you're in the mission work, or once you're in source integration, you're in 5D union, that thing does not happen again. I would like to say that to you. That thing does not happen again, because you no longer consider that person to be a priority. You have unconditional love, but it's not your priority, and you're not putting him or her on pedestal as well. Because now they are not separate from you. So why put it on pedestal? You see their problems like, yeah, it's a genuine problem, but you don't give in to the negativity, you don't give in to the drama, you don't get very attached, you don't act out, you don't emotionally react. All these things happen. So these are the things that make you feel better, and you're able to cope up in your daily life in a much better way. And then that then attracts other things around you which validate your feeling. But again, if you're going to do it looking for a validation, then you're going to run in the opposite direction of it. When you don't care about validations, when you don't care about anything at all, wish fulfillment, manifestation, results, this, that, that's when you're actually living in 5D reality. So on that note, I'm going to close this channeling session. Thank you so much for being here with me. One love and peace out.